So today I will discuss how to configure SAML authentication for Okta in Palo Alto for GP users, and how to basically decode the SAML request and response by using different tools, and how we can basically troubleshoot the Palo Alto global protect related issues, all SAML related issues, how we can troubleshoot, what is the flow, and everything we will see in detail. Now, what I will do, I will start with the configuration. Configuration I have already shown you in my last lecture, but today I'll just give you the basic idea of it. So I will log into my Okta portal. Let me just log in here. So I will create one user. Username is pidit@gmail.com. This is the first name. Last name is Python. Username is this. Primary email is also this. Set by admin. Yeah, set by user. What I will do, we'll click on save. Click on activate. So now this user will be activated. After some time, so when we will log in first time, that user will be activated during that time. Okay, now I will go into the application. I will search browser app catalog, search for Palo Alto networks, and you will get here Palo Alto network global protect SAML. We have to select this particular application for the SAML. I will select it, click on add. Now here you have to define your base URL like we have did for last time. HTTPS portal.lab.local. Click on done. Now assign the users. So just assign both the users. I will assign this guy as well. Done. Now go to into import. So leave these settings as of now default only, because here we used to import the users and other things. Click on sign on. You will see all these settings are fine. Go here, edit, and just enable the single logout. That option we have to enable. Go to into your Palo Alto Firewall, go to into devices, certificate, and if you remember, I have created one certificate for Okta. This is the Okta cert I have created right on that day. So let me just delete that one. Let me just export this certificate. I will put into my FTP folder Octacert. I'll give this particular name to this certificate, which is Octacert. Close it. Now this is the certificate which you have to import here. Go into your FTP directory and select your certificate, which is Octacert. Select it, upload it. It's uploaded. Okta username, create and update. All these settings are fine. Click on save. Now you will see identity provider metadata. Now this metadata file we have to download. Go and so this metadata file, if you will see, if I'll increase the size little bit here, what it is having entity ID, Then it is having the certificate details. This is the signing URL, single logout URLs, everything it is having, right? IDP associated descriptor, which means this is the metadata file for the IDP, right? Go and just you will get, click on save as and save this metadata file. So this is the metadata file for 31st March. Save it, close this. I think we are good to go. This is the only setting which we have to do it here. Go back to application, go to into your Palo Alto, and like on last lecture I have done the configuration, so I will go into the device, then certificates, and right now you will see I have only these certificates, right? When I will import this metadata file, you will see one new certificate here. Either what you can do, either you can add the details by yourself, all the details, but what I will do, I will import the details. Give the name Okta profile, browse the file. Say the metadata file for today, I will upload it. Just deselect both these options, click on OK. Go into this profile. Now you will see here Okta profile. You will see the identity provider ID, identity provider certificate. This is the shared certificate which is uploaded. And if you remember, we have seen one certificate on that file, right? On that metadata file. So where is that file? This is the one. Just open it. This is the it is opening like that. Do one thing. Go here. Open with Microsoft Edge. You will see this value. And if you copy this detail of this certificate, if you copy the detail of this certificate till here, Control C and open your notepad file. Go here. And if you click on save as, select here all files. And if you type here, Okta, or what you can do, just mention the name. Cert from meta data .cer. Click on OK. Close it. Go here and look for that file. Cert from metadata.cer. Open this certificate. And you will see this issues to my Okta account, right? This is my Okta account. This one. Go to into details. You will get all the details. Okta, this is the CN, all these details, right? Who has sent this certificate? This certificate I'm getting into my metadata file. So if you have a metadata file like that, you can also able to copy your certificate. This is the thumbprint of your certificate. So this is the thumbprint of your certificate. If you go here, this is the thumbprint. Control C. Open your notepad one more time. Okay, so this is the thumbprint. Now, if you again go here and if you open this certificate, open it. This is the Okta cert. Go here. And if you go here, if you go for thumbprint, Control C. These thumbprint values are different, guys, because this certificate we have uploaded, right? And after that, we need one more certificate, right? Into our machine. We need one certificate into our machine, right? So this is that certificate only which we have received into this metadata file. After that, you will see this is the single sign-on SSO URL. This is the single sign-on logout URL. So these are the two URLs. SML binding request. We are using post request here. Validate the identity provider certificate. Just select this one. So whenever my IDP, he will present the certificate, I will validate that certificate by using this certificate. Just remember. SAML, sign SAML message to IDP. Just select this one as well. SAML sign and just deselect this option actually, because as per the configuration which is recommended, even though they are just telling to deselect both of these options, but we can also, I have referred some more document for that. So what I have done, I will use the sign SAML message to IDP. So whenever my machine, it will send this SP, it will generate any certificate, it will sign these particular messages with the certificate. Okay, that's why I'm using this part, because I have already uploaded the certificate into my Okta portal right here, this certificate. So I will use this particular certificate for signing the request, and this certificate having the public key, so it will basically authenticate. Okay, that's how this thing is happening. Click on OK. We have created the Okta profile. Now go to into your authentication and just add the authentication profile for Okta. Okta single sign-on auth profile. I will give single sign-on Okta authentication profile. I'll just give this name. I will select the type is SAML Okta profile. Certificates for signing request, I will go with none. Certificate profile, I will go with none. User, just add here groups. Always prefer the configuration, whatever they are recommending here. Always go with that. Enable single sign-on logout. We have to click on that option. What it will do? It will, whenever we will, it will send the logout request. It will basically send these requests to our IDP as well. And here, certificate for signing the request, we will use our certificate, which is Okta cert. Certificate for signing the request, we will use this certificate here. Go into advanced and allow all users. Click on OK. That's it. This is the config only we have to do into our end for this. I think I have used here capital G in the group, so we have to go with the small g here, groups. Yep, that's cool. Now go to into network, go to into your portal and basically assign the portal here. Change the authentication method, which is SSO Okta. Go here and change the method. Let's configure here SSO Okta. Single sign-on Okta I'm using here. Yep. Now do one thing, go and just hit the commit. Just wait for this commit to complete. Meantime, go to into Okta profile. You will see user authentication. So this is in Palo Alto Global Protect app only. View the policies here. Edit. Allow user after the successful authentication. So he needs to enter the, you have to go with the two-factor, pass by IDP and another factor, and we are using Okta verify as another factor. Every time single sign-on attempt, every time single sign-on attempt. So whenever my user is trying to log in, every time he needs to basically send these requests. He needs to put the username and password every time, and we are good to go. This is the only config which we have to do from here. And see, this app is already there, which means configuration wise we are good. Go here. Just wait. Commit has been changed successfully. Now what you can do, go into the CLI and just open this log file. Now basically we are starting the troubleshooting part, guys. How the troubleshooting is happening. Now I also go into my EVNG machine. Just open this machine. Let me log in inside this machine. Let me increase the size. Okay, that's cool. Go into CMD. Run here IP config /all. So I'm having the IP settings towards my, into this machine. These are the setting towards outside, right? Now go here, start the capture. So capture is started. So first we will take the help of Wireshark captures. Okay. To identify the things, then after it I'll just move towards the SAML things. We have a multiple tools to validate these SAML request and response, guys. Don't worry. Now go here. I'll just open my portal, go into settings, enable. It will start the connection request. So I will use here hemu at sianets.com, and password is, I will put my password. See, I got the Okta login page, see, previously, and now I'm getting the, so I will click on select. So I will get the push notification on my phone. I have get it, and I have to press here 32. I have get here 3 options. So I have just pressed the 32. Now you will see I have authenticated successfully. Let's wait for this connections to complete. Put the password one more time. Validate the things one more time. Why? It is asking again because it is now authenticating ourselves against the gateway, because first we will have authenticated against the portal, then gateway. Now you will see connection has been connected, right? You will see VPN is connected. Go here, go into setting, click on sign out. It will sign out the request. Just stop the Wireshark captures. And now let's start seeing these things. We have already seen few of the things into my first class, but today I will start from where you will start and how you will do the things. Okay. So this is the first message, and I can able to see these messages here in this form because I am decrypting the message. Just remember. Okay. And let me also do that thing. Let me also decrypt the communication or not required. Okay. You will see 192.168.250. He has sent this HTTP XML message, and this is the message which is I have received from the my firewall. This is known as the request. This is your SAML request. So if you go here, this is the content. This is the response of your pre-login.esp file, right? Because you know, first we will always access in the pre-login.esp, right? On the portal, and after that portal has sent the response. This is the response with the session cookies and other information. This information you already know, right? So I will not explain this again. Request URI prelogin.esp. This is the content on this one. Go to into the extensible markup language XML. Now this is the pre-login response. It is giving you all the details. See, it is giving you all the details. This is the SAML request timeout. And I think that timeout we have configured here. If you go into your SAML identity, if you go into a profile, maximum clock issue second, 60 second we have configured. Now this is your SAML request ID, and this is your SAML request payload, guys. This is the payload. This is your SAML request payload. If you copy this payload, or if you click on open Excel markup language, use Unicode heuristics, click on OK. Just copy. Or copy the value. Go to into Notepad. Control A. I don't want to save anything. So this is the value I have copied it basically from here. This is the XML value which I have copied from my Wireshark. This one. Now go here. Go to into plugins, guys. You have to download the XML tool plugins into your Notepad++. Go to into Pretty Print. XML tool. Okay, I think this I will not able to decode it here. Not an issue. So you will see this is the XML request beacon say, which is generated by the Palo Alto Firewall. Now, if you want to see the content of this request, what you can do, you can go to into your CLI of Palo Alto, press the Control C and just go on top. We have received a request, pan auth request SML to create the SML or create the SAML create SSO request, right? Means we have to create a XML request now. Trying to handle the SAML message. This is the profile information and SAML SSO request payload. And this is the payload we can say on that request. SAML 2.2 protocol assertion consumer URL is this. This is the destination URL of your single sign-on URL or your Okta URL. This is the ID. This is the ID we are having, and this is your authentication ID. This is the relay stage. Relay stage is this. FQDN is this. Remote host is this. You will get all the details. HTTP post request he has created, and he has just sent the redirect request towards here. Single or sign the SAML message succeeded. Now they have signed this particular message. They forward this message towards this for authentication profile. SSO auth profile. Now this is how now you send auth success SAML response. Now this is the response. Receive the SAML assertion. This is the assertion he has received. He start parsing that particular SAML response. This is the subject name, or we can say I have mentioned the attribute has no username attribute. This is the username details and everything, right? Successfully signature is verified. Now here signature is verified successfully. Valid signature. Success to verify the signature against the IDP. This is the IDP. How they have verified? Because we have put all the certificates and everything. They will use that certificate for the validation purpose. SAML signature validation against IDP certificate. So this is the certificate which they have used for validating the certificate of hemu at sianets.com. And you will get all the details here. Then allow auth response. Now they are checking the authentication list, right? SAML authentication request, everything, and you will get. Now you will see the logout message here. So this is your logout processing. Don't worry, I will explain this processing, how this logout processing works and everything. That's how your SAML normal communication happens, best we can say. What are the points you have to look into this particular log file? Let me just tell you what are the things you have to look here. In this log file, the first point you have to look for, which is your auth ID. You have to look for authentication ID. You have to look for the FQDN, and you have to look for the remote host. These are the two values which is important. Now you will see SAML SSO request payload. This is the request payload, and you have to verify this request payload correctly as per your configuration. What are the things you are having here? And if you will see into the SAML auth response, send pan auth SAML response, you will see this auth ID, and look for this auth ID. They are matching. They should be matched. If that auth ID will not match, your Palo Alto Firewall drop that particular request and response packet right away. Because Palo Alto is also use this particular IDs. This ID and this ID for identifying the request and response messages for a particular user, because at the same time maybe 20 people they are trying to log in. How my firewall will distinguish these 20 requests? So he will use this auth ID. Just remember. This auth IDs have some special importance here. Now Apart from this, what you have to look for? If you go here into the SAML response, so this is the SAML response. Auth ID is this. Relay state, this is the relay state. Auth request timeout is this. So you will get all these details here. Now you have to look for this value. Your signature is verified successfully or not. You have to look for your username details, which is this one. This part is also important for you. Now, common problem what you will face, you will see sometime you have not imported the certificate correctly. So you will see your signature is not able to validate. Your certificate is expired. So this problem you will see. And also you will see the time mismatch problems. Because in request, they are having the time. If you will see in the request, SAML request payload, it is having the issue instance. This is the time that request is issued. So if there is a much difference between the times, your authentication will not succeed. So these are the common problems you may come across, and this is how we have to basically troubleshoot these problems. Okay, now what we will do now, in Palo Alto Firewall, you also need to check the system logs. So let me just tell you what are the different logs you will get. Go into monitor, because right now just look for, just put the filter like that. Subtype equals to authentication, and look for these logs. Put this profile as well, so you will see the more specific logs here. So the first log which you will see is your SAML client redirect log. This is the first log you will get. Now what this log is saying, client 192.168.1.28 redirected towards the Okta URL. Which means we have received the request, right, from the client machine to our Palo Alto Firewall, which is like your service provider. Now this service provider, he will send the HTTP redirect message towards the client machine, and this is the URL where that particular request will be redirected. So you will see SAML client redirect message actually. And after that, you will see SAML IDP activity message, which means we now this time till here, my Palo Alto Firewall here received the SAML response from the IDP. I have received the SAML response from the IDP, and you will get this particular detail. This is the response payload. Now it will start the signature validation. SAML assertion. So where it will get this signature? It will get this signature into the SAML assertion field. Signature is validated against the IDP certificate, and it will use this certificate. A user is this. Auth is success. Now authentication is success. Now these are the 4 transactions you will see when you will use the SAML authentication. These 4 messages you will get. Now this is the another message. This message you are getting with regards to the gateway. Okay. Now these are the SSO Okta auth profile, SSO Okta auth profile. This is for logout. If you will see, this request is for the logout, because we have logged out from the portal, right? So you will get these messages for the logout as well. Now, if you will see this auth success message, which means your authentication is succeeded successfully. There is no any problem. If there's any issue with the certificate, you will get the SAML certificate warning. SAML certificate warning. You will see this particular message here. If there is any problem with the SAML certificate, what I can do, let's do one thing. Let's go here into the portal, go to into application, into this application, go here into sign on, edit, and just put some bogus certificate here. Let's put the wrong certificate here. Put the wrong certificate here this time. Which means I have uploaded the wrong certificate here. And now we will see the transactions, how the transaction is happening. Debug. Authentication on at the dump level. Now tail follow yes, mplog auth.log. Look for this daemon file, go here. Now initiate the connection. Let's see if there is some mismatch. What mismatch we will get due to the certificate warning. Try to log in. Push notification. Press the 17 here. I press the 17 into my phone. You will see SAML SSO authentication failed. Reason is SAML BEV single sign-on failed. Reply message. Receive the request. So when this failed, it is not able to parse your response message, or it will not able to parse your response page, and you will get this particular error here. And because I have basically enabled the log at the dump level, that's why I'm getting lots of info this time. Receive out of band SAML message. This is the SAML message, or this is the SAML response we can say. SAML SSO request payload, all the details you will get here. This is the URI, signature, issuer, right? All the details you will get here. It is failed, right? Because due to certificate warning, go to into Palo Alto, just refresh your logs. SAML out of band message. You will get this particular error. SAML out of band message. Client receive out of band SAML message. So if your certificate is not valid, you will get this particular warning. What is that? How you will troubleshoot this warning? You have to put here correct certificate. If your certificate is not correct here, you will get the problem. So just go look for here OctaCert. This is the OctaCert. Just put this certificate, upload it. Now it will fix the problem. This time I will put here username and password. This time I am able to authenticate. It's 40, so I have pressed the 40 on my phone. This time everything is fine, right? Now, what you will do? So this error you will get like SAML message parse failure, right? This was the error we are getting last time. We are not able to parse the message properly, right? Authentication failed. So you will get all these problems, all these messages here. SAML BEP sign on failed, single logout enabled, right? Everything. This is your success message. This time we are getting one of the success message here, and authentication is succeeded. Again, it is asking for the password because I have enabled the, I'm also authenticating towards myself for the gateway now. Select push notification, click on push notification. 17 I have to press this time. You'll see I will get the authentication success message here this time. Sign in SAML message succeeded. Everything is fine this time, right? So if you go here, if I'll go into my devices, if I'll go here, if I'll put here wrong certificate, and instead of that one, I will put AD root CA. Because if you go into the certificate, when I have uploaded my metadata, this is the certificate is automatically uploaded. Let's do the commit. We have just changed the certificate things. And let's see what error we will get this time. So these are the common problems you will face when you are troubleshooting the SAML related issues. Let's wait for this. Come up. Go into monitor. Let's refresh the. Let's wait for this commit to complete 99%. Right now, just go down somewhere. I'll come back here one more again. So this is your SAML request payload, and if you want to see, you will get somewhere here the response. Now, if you will see all this communication, this is happening with the SAML only. This part I have already covered, right? See, they are trying to connect with the Okta now. See, this is the response we have received for online certificate check, because they will do the online certificate check as well. They're trying to connect with the Okta 12 static.com, and you will see somewhere response. This is the OCSP online certificate status protocol check response, and you will get that message somewhere here. Go down. It takes some time, right? Because it will authenticate against two. We have to, it will needs to validate the username and password, and also it needs to validate the. See, this is the SAML response. In this response, you will get all these details. This is the SAML response. This is the SAML response values in our Wireshark. And after that, you will see we have get the OK message. And after that, they are exchanging the getconfig.esp, right? That's how your thing happens by using the Wireshark. Okay, now let's commit has been completed. but we have some wrong certificate things this time. Go here, do one thing, just refresh the connection. So I have refreshed the connection. Let's wait now. Put the username, sorry, put the password. Username is already there. I will put the password. Select the push notification option. I have to click on 75 on my phone. I have done it. Let's see what's happening. It's connecting. Failure you will get. It is get the failure by validating the certificate. What? This time it is not able to decode your SAML assertion, right? It is not able to decode these values. This is the response. Receive a SAML assertion, right? This is the assertion values. SAML message received from this IDP. Handle signature, say it is getting the error. In the parsing your response, authentication failed for this user. Why? Because certificate is invalid. I'm not able to process the certificate this time. Go here. SAML certificate error. You will get this particular SAML certificate error. Failure while validating the signature of SAML message received from the IDP. It is not able to identify the SAML assertion or a SAML response message which is coming from the IDP because we are having error in our certificate. So you will get the SAML certificate error. Okay, now what we can do? If I'll go here and if I'll go into my server profiles, if I'll change the certificate, I will put this, the certificate which we have received from the Okta, click on OK, but go to into your setup, management, device, just change the date, put here 29, put the old date. Let's see if there is a issue with the time mismatch, what we will get, what we will see. Now there is a mismatch with the time. Let's do the commit and we will do the things. So we will wait here for this commit to complete. So by looking into the system logs in monitor tab, it will also helps you a lot while when you are troubleshooting the SAML related issues in your Palo Alto firewall. So it's 99% right now. Let's wait for 100%. See, even though it has logged out me. Why? Because due to the time mismatch. Because we have just configured the time of 2 days back. Try to log in on the firewall. Let's wait. Tail, follow, yes, mplog, auth_d.log, and this time let's initiate the connection. Cancel it, go here, click on connect. Now you will see some mismatch. Put the password here for your Okta user. Select your push notification. Go into logs. See what is the mismatch this time. 0 means invalid key tab, authentication system, signature is validated successfully. So SAML message we have received. This is the SSO request payload. In this payload, just see the time. ID is this. This is the time. I think still they are using the latest time. 31:03:22. They are not using the other time, we can say. That's why, but still you are getting some invalid key tab message here. But your signature is valid, which means authentication is succeeded. Go here. So job solve. Commit is completed at 12:23. Go to into CLI. Just go into the system logs. So log system subtype auth subtype equals to authentication. Authenticate failure for this user, invalid username and password. Console telnet. These are the very old log. Direction equals to backward. Now you will see authenticate user admin successfully. Authentication for this. This time we are not getting SSA is okay. We are getting the authentication is succeeded because it is creating the request due to that only. It is not taking that time. That's why. Okay, we are getting the success message here. Go. Otherwise, you will see one error with the time mismatch, like SAML message parse error due to the time mismatch. So these kind of message you will get that time. Go into monitor. The auth is succeeded in that case. It is not taking the time whatever we have configured. See, even though it has took the time of 31st March 1228, it is not applied actually. Okay. So if possible, you can do the time mismatch and work on this one. So this is how basically we will do the troubleshooting of your SAML related issues. Now let's discuss the SAML decoding. How we can decode the message of SAML. What is the SAML decoding? Now let's do that. So for decoding the SAML metadata request and response, I will use the Chrome or Firefox extension. This is the first way of decoding this message. What you can do, you have to download SAML message decoder. If I go here, this is the extension you have to download from the Google. SAML message decoder. Clear all the message. Let me just clear the previous messages. Clear selection. Go here. I want to just remove that old data. Not an issue. So guys, just remember. Now what I will do some browser based test here. Okay. What I am doing, I'm trying to do here some browser based tests. So just remember, for this test to do, you have to first configure the clientless VPN in your Palo Alto Firewall. I have already done the configuration. So first do the clientless VPN configuration. This is the prerequisite. And after that, start doing this particular, start decoding these request messages. Just remember, this is the prerequisite. What I will do, I'll go here. I type HTTPS, then portal.lab.local. I'll log in here. So these are the log of 30 March UTC. Let me just see how I can delete them first, because I want a fresh log to show it to you. Export the message. Keep last message only default. Keep 100 last message. Clear stored messages. Yeah, it has cleared now. Now what I will do, I'll type here again HTTPS portal.lab.local. Hit enter. Password is, put my Okta password here. Sign in. Don't save your credential. Click on get push notification. You will get the push notification, which is 57 right now. Click on 57. And we have get the clientless VPN page, right? Go here, log out, go here. Now you will see your messages here. You will see the SAML message here. Now what we can do, we will start looking into these messages. So copy, select this one, select this one, select this one, select this one, and copy the 4 messages. Go into Notepad, put these messages here. Plug in and just click on pretty print. So you have to download the XML tool, plug in for this in Notepad, and you will see here. So this first message is your authentication request. This is your authentication request, which is generated by the Palo Alto Firewall. Assertion consumer service URL. This is the URL. Portal.lab.local 443 SAML 2.0 service provider ACS. Destination. This is the destination of your Okta, of my Okta portal. ID. This is the ID. Just remember this ID. This is the issue instance. This is the time when that request is generated. Protocol binding. We are using SAML 2.2 protocol, and this is your HTTP post request. Now SAML issuer. Here you will get the SAML issuer detail. Who is the issuer? Issuer is this guy. From where it will validate the signature? It will validate the signature from this XML digital signature. This is the URL. Signed information. What information it has signed? This is the URL. This is the information which is signed by the certificate. And as I have mentioned, your digital certificate we will use for signing the some specific portion of your XML messages, right? So he has signed this particular request. This is the method it has used. They have used SHA-256 message as a, this is the digest value. When they have signed this message, what? This is the MD5 hash is coming. This is the MD5 hash which is generated. Okay. So this is your signed information. Now, this is your signature value. This is the value of your signature. If you will copy this value, so what this value means, this is the key of your signature. This is the signature value. And this is the certificate. This is your actual certificate. Starting from here till here, this is your certificate. And if you will open, if you will go into Notepad, if you will save this certificate, I am saving into desktop, test cert.cer. If you want to see what certificate it is, close it. Now go to into desktop. And I have just put here test CER. Open this certificate. And you will get, this is your Okta certificate. If you will see the key identifier, key identity thumbprint is this. This is the public key of your certificate. Valid, issuer. So this certificate is issued to Okta. Serial number and other details. Okta CA cert. This is the certificate which is there. Which means I have used this certificate for signing this request. And as per my Palo Alto configuration, if you remember, go here. If you go into authentication profile, go into this certificate. Certificates for signing the request. I'm using Okta certificate, so this is the certificate. This certificate is this one. Till here your authentication request is closed, right? So till here your request has been closed. Your request packet is closed here. Now this is your response package. This is the response coming from response destination is this. So this is the relay or state relay. I have discussed the state relay. This is that. If you remember, we have discussed the relay stage. This is the one. This is the ID. Look for this in response to this ID and this ID is matching. So they will match this ID. From the request, they will put the auth ID, and from the response, they will put the in response ID. They will use the in response ID. If you go here, look, go to into your Palo Alto logs. I think I have, let me just see the logs tail followers. We have not seen the log. So what I can do, less mp log authd.log, just do a search for this ID. Do a search for this ID. This is the session index ID, and if you will see, this is your authentication ID which I was mentioning. Let me decrease the size little bit here. This is the ID. From the SAML request packet. Okay. They will match this ID. Just remember. So from the response, they will pick this ID and they will match. Issue instance, this is the time they have issued this request. Version is this. Issuer format, this is the format. Now signed information, this is the information which they have signed. Go down. This is the value which they have signed. Now this value they will generally match. Now this is the certificate. If you will open, this is the certificate. If you open which certificate it is, this is the certificate which we have received in the response. So let's understand which certificate it is. Save as, put the name test2 cert cer. Close it, go to into desktop and look for test2. Open this certificate, go to into details, go to into thumbprint. I think this is the same certificate, which is this one, which we have received from the metadata. It's a this certificate. So now who will validate the response? Who will validate the response? Response is validated by this certificate. Who will validate the request? Request is validated by the certificate. So if I'll go into my certificate authority or into my certificates here, so your SAML authentication request is validating by this certificate. Whatever response we will receive, we will validate with this certificate. In response, you will see this certificate. In request, you will see this certificate. They will match this certificate. They will match the thumbprint because we are sending this certificate details. Just remember. Okay. Now, SAML thing is closed here. Now you will see SAML assertion is started. This is the assertion ID. Look for this ID. Issue instance is there. This is the time. URI is this. Now they will use this ID for the validation purpose. SAML assertion 2.0. This is the Okta. Issuer is Okta, right? Issuer is okta.com. You will see all of them. Signature, now you will see another signature here. It's the same signature, right? And then after that, you will see your username. These are your attribute values. This is the relay state URL. You will see everything here. This is how your response has been processed. Now you will go to here. This is logout request. So response is processed till here. SAML response is processed till here. Now your logout request is started. Because for the logout also, we need to communicate with the IDP, right? And that should be secure. This is your logout. That's how these particular transactions happens in case of we can say your SAML. So this is the one of the way to capture the packet. We can use this particular extension for do that thing. SAML. What I can do, clear all the sessions. I don't want to capture everything. I don't want to keep any messages on this one. Okay, this is the default option. Okay, cool. So go here. Now, what we can do? Now we will use another tool, which is Fiddler. How we can use Fiddler tool to do the same thing. So guys, first of all, you have to download the Fiddler. Download is very, very easy. You can go here, and if you will type Fiddler, download, go to into this first website, telerik.com, and you can just download the Fiddler from here. I have already downloaded it, and I have also installed the Fiddler. Now let me just open the Fiddler. I'll just open the Fiddler on my system. So this is the Fiddler. What do you have to do? Tools and options. Basically, you just need to go into HTTPS. You have to select decrypt the HTTPS traffic for all process. From all the process, just decrypt the enable the HTTPS decryption. Click on OK. Options. Everything is fine now. You don't need to do any other changes. This is the thing only you have to do. You will get this particular message. Just click on yes, proceed. And make sure in a file this capture is enabled. Now what we have to do, go here. I'll go into my browser and I'll just type here https portal.lab.local. It is authenticating. I will authenticate myself. Get a push notification. Authenticate yourself against the push notification, which is 48 this time. Put the 48. Now just simply log out. Go to into Fiddler. And now you will see we have captured some packets here. Right? We have captured some packets here. Now, what do you have to do? If you will go into your packets, so your processing start from here, right? This is the first portal.lab.local. This is the first request we have initiated, right? To access the login.esp file, just give me 1 second. Yeah, just I have deselected, so it will not capture the further messages. Go here, go to into inspector, go to into your web form, go here, just click on headers here. You will see the details, client, all the details you will see into the first request into login.esp, right? Agent, okta.com and everything, you will get all the details here. Go to into web form again. Just click on these messages. Here you will see the SAML request message. Into this HTTPS, this is the SAML request. This is the release state. Select this one and send to the text editor. So right now this message is in, maybe you will see in a decrypted form. So you have to click on from deflated SAML. And you will see that request in a clear text. If you will copy this, you go into your notepad, you will open the new notepad here, Control C, plugins, tools, and run here pretty print, and you will see your SAML request in a proper format. All the details with this ID, you will see certificate details and everything. Go here, not here, go to into fiddler, send this value to the text as well. Content could not be compressed. I think this relay stuff we will not able to see the details. To MD5, no. To SHA-1, let's use to SHA-256, 384. It is not able to give you properly actually. Not an issue. If you go here, if you run one command here like base 64, so we are getting this thing. Generally we will always select this option from deflated SAML and we will get all the details. Okay, from the SAML request. So this is how we will capture the SAML request and we can see all the details. And guys, one more thing, just remember, I started the accessing my portal from here, right? Then you will see global protect login.esp, and after that you will see they have created the tunnel. They have done some SSL tunnel with your Okta, and after that only they have received the response from there, from the other end. Okay, just remember. If you go here, if you go into header, you will get the details. Text view, you can view the text. This is the server name, empty, supported groups, and everything. These are the SSL related information. These are your ciphers detail. Compression is nothing. And here you will see your SAML request. If you want to see the raw information, like by doing this thing, you will get the raw information. Original referencer is this. This is the cookie, username, So in request only, basically they will send the username on this message. This is your SAML request. Okay, so if you know how to use Fiddler, you will get lots of details here. You can look into JSON format, and if you will click on XML, you will get the. We don't have much thing to see in the XML. Okay, so this is how we see the information of SAML request. Now you can validate your request. You have the packet, you know everything. You can validate this is the certificate details and everything, right? Now let's get the SAML response. Click over there, go to into web form. We have seen the request here, touch point. So you have to look for all these messages. Look for this one, auth service. So they are just communicating multiple things, right? You will get the details here. You will see login token redirect stays. This is your redirect related information. Now you will see SAML 2.2 SP. Here you will get the SAML response. Copy, send to the text editor. From the deflated SAML, Control C, and just go into your, let me just close this certificate, not required. Go here, plugins, pretty print. This is your request and this is your response. This is how we will get the response. Now we can validate. We know all the fields, what are the things we have to look, like SAML response destination. If you click on in response ID, it should match with the ID here. These values are matching, which means this is the correct response. So like that, we can now analyze this particular response. Go here into Fiddler, close it. Now you will see this is the SAML response. So you will see this is the SAML response as well. Now SP SLO service single sign-on logout request. This is for logout request. Logout response. This is the response for logout, and you will see the logout message here somewhere. Close it, select it, send to the text. This is the response. So like that, you will able to get almost all the packets here. If you have a Fiddler, you can basically use this Fiddler tool for validating all of them. Apart from this Fiddler, or what I can do, let me also do one more thing here. New viewer. Close this one. I'll go here. Just close here, just open Fiddler again. See, capture is enabled. Go to into tools options. Click on yes. Yeah, decryption is also going on. Do one thing, go to into your, just search for Palo Alto GP. So where is that GP client? Global Protect. Certificate name mismatch. It's a common name mismatch error. Portal.lab.local. Let me access with the URL 192.168.1.250. This actually my adapter is in another window. So I will initiate the connection. Connection is going on. I got the Okta page. Hemu at sianets.com. So this is the login page I have get. Let me just log in. Get the push notification. 48 this time. I press the 48. Sign in. Again, I have to authenticate against my gateway. This time I'm using my Palo Alto adapter, guys. Just remember, I will get the notification again, which is 64 on my phone. I have click on 64. Just wait here. Now see, my GP is connected. See, status is connected. I get all the details. Go here. Let's disable the captures. Let's verify the packets now. So I have access 192.161.250, right? I have access after global protect pre-login.esp. If you go into inspector, if you go into raw data, this is the value I'm having in my pre-login.esp. So last time we have seen I have captured the packets, right? But you can, if you have a fiddler, you can also verify these logs. This is the header details. Kerberos support everything in clear text only. This is raw data, JSON, XML, everything. So it will give you all the details here. Pre-login.esp message. Now go into the next one. Now you will see this is the connection. Now it is trying to make with the, in this pre-login.esp, we have access the pre-login.esp. Now after that you will see, if you go into your web form, so where is that message? Array. not this one. Now here you will see the SAML request. In raw format, this is the response we will get from the, this is the post request. Okay, because we are capturing the packet. Now what we can do, we have to take the SAML. So if you are using adapter, you can now go to into web form, send this value to text. You will get the details. This is the SAML request. Look for the information. Everything is fine or not. And you can troubleshoot your issues. Now, if you go log into Okta, you will see all the details here. Auth service device, token, assets. Now you will see here your response. And you will get your response. So this is how we will decode these messages by using the Fiddler. If we are using our Global Protect Agent software, or if we are using web browser. Fiddler, it will able to capture the packet, guys. It's a very good tool for capturing your HTTP request. Let me just disable that adapter. Okay, cool. Now, so this is how we will use Fiddler. Apart from this Fiddler, we can say there's a one more tool we can use using the browser inspect option. Let's suppose in some of the organization, you just want to test the SAML part. SAML authentication is working fine or not. What you can do, you can also use the browser inspect option. What you have to do, if you go here, if I'll go here, if I'll click on inspect, and if I'll type here https 192.168.1.250, I can log in. So these are the multiple ways, guys, I'm telling here for your knowledge purpose. So whatever tool you want to capture your SAML part, you can use and you can do the troubleshooting. Authenticated. Now you have to go to into network. So this is your portal.tsp request. Network. Go to into headers. Let me increase the size so you can able to see them properly. Okay, so if you will see, this is the URL. This is the response header. Username is emu@sianets.com. This is the request header. If you go, this is the SAML payload. Right? If you go here into your SAML response payload, just copy this payload, go to into this website, decode, page 64 decode and inflate. Put this response value here. decode the file, and you will get your file. This is your SAML response file. Copy this file, go into your Notepad++, open new file, plugins, XML tool, pretty print, and this is how you will get your response. Now you know how to see the information into this response. You can check that info. Go again, go back here, and this is your SAML response, right? Go portal.esp. So this is how you can able to see the details as well. If you want to see the details into this format, so we have a SAML response payload. Where is the other payload actually? Yeah, this is the SAML SP document. Then portal.esp, lots of things for the ESP. Open this. This is your request header. This request header, I'm not able to see the payload details. Request initiator is this, portal login.esp. These are the all details. Let's do one thing, just log out. Inspect again. Inspect again. Portal.lab.local. Instead that I let me just use the IP address to avoid the problems. 192.168.1.250. Hit enter. Password is, put the password here. Select the push notification. Configure the push notification, which is 83. Let's wait for this process to complete. We have done, we have got the access. Go here and just log out. Go into network. It is not able to capture all the packet. After some time, these packets are not there actually. We are not able to see them properly. Copy the value. Go into this decoder. Decode. See, this is the logout response, right? So what we have to do, you have to look for the information at the real time actually. It is not storing all the information. We can say that's the problem which I am expecting here. I just see one header here. These are the 5 messages. Error warning. This is your S single. Only the last message it has captured. Okay. This is how we can look for the browser related information. But the best tool which we always use for troubleshooting SAML related issues, let me just explain you that tool. That tool is known as a SAML tracer. SAML tracer is the best tool which we always use for doing the SAML related troubleshooting. Always we do the troubleshooting by using this particular tool. How that tool works? If you go here, so let me just go into my Chrome, close this Chrome, start the Chrome again. You will see this tool here. This is the SAML tracer extension tool. That extension tool is available into all the browsers. You go here, if you will type https 192 or just portal.lab.local. Put the password here. Push notification 68 this time. Now you have to click on 68 here. I have get the 68 here. Right. Click on logout and go here. And you will see all your requests. You will see everything in detail. See, first transaction. What we have done first time. Is there any way to increase the size? No, I don't have. I don't see. So first we have accessed the https portal.lab.local. This is the browser. All the details you will see here. We have get the OK message from the other end. After that, we have accessed the portal global protect login.esp. This is in case of clientless VPN, right? And what we are using the same origin. This is the portal URL, all these details, and we have get the OK message. And in this OK request, what we are getting this, these are the cookies which I have received, right? I have got all that detail. Now, if you go, this is my SAML packet. This is my SAML request packet. You will get this SAML tag here. This is my SAML packet. This is the information on this message. This is the parameter. This is the SAML request parameters. If you want, you can copy these parameters. Go to into the SAML decoder. You can decode them. You have to go to into samltool.com, code decode, and this is the decoder. Click on this decode. You will see this request. But if you go here, if you click on SAML, you will already get the decoded message. Copy, go to into your notepad, just start your plugins with Pretty Print and you will get your SAML request. So this is how we will get the SAML request. Now after that, you will see they have done some other transaction with the Okta website only, right? You will see everything here. Now Okta logging.html. Now you will get the SAML response here. This is your SAML response. You will get your SAML response here. This SAML tracer tool we always use for tracing the SAML request. Even though it will tell you all the communication which is happening with the website. See, it will give you all the details. That's why we always use SAML tracer for troubleshooting the SAML related issues. Here you will get the summary, destination portal, version ID, everything you will get, username, certificate you will get. You can also able to download them if you want. This is a SAML assertion ID, right? So you will see lots of data here. Go here. Now just copy the response here. SAML request and response, you have to look for this ID. These ID is same. You are good to go. You will see the logout information. This is how they will do the logout and related things. And this is how they will basically complete the logout option. In logout, if you will see, go into summary or HTTP parameter. This is the post request over this website. Host name is this. You will see all the details. Portal is this. Referencer is this. This is the cookie. This is the username. All the data you will see here. Copy the SAML thing. Go to into your browser and just put the logout request. This is the logout request. Now this particular ID you will see same into your logout response as well. So if you want, copy the logout response message as well here. Control C, Control V. This is your SAML logout response. See, these IDs are matching. These are the 4 messages we are having generally in SAML transactions. The best tool is either you can use Fiddler. So let me just write here. This is my SAML request. This is SAML request or SAML auth request, SAML authentication request. This is my SAML auth response along with the assertions and other details. Now this is my logout request. SAML logout request, and this is my SAML logout response. These are the 4 messages basically we will see in your SAML process. Now let's do one more thing which is also very important, like how Palo Alto Firewall do the things. This part is already I have already covered, but still I just wanted to explain you one more time, guys. So I will just go at the last. Because at the last I will get the latest logs. Basically, I just want to see how Palo Alto authentication daemon basically initiated all of them, all these stuffs. Just wait here. I'm going at the end. Because at the last I will get all the things. %. Okay, cool. What I will do, I will start the things from here. Status is failed. Username is this. Trying to handle the SAML message. SAML sign in logout. So this is for logout. So what I can do, if I'll go into my Wireshark and if I look for this ID, starting with 606 and ending with VA8. V8, just remember. Auth success SAML response. This is your authentication ID. So I'll just go here. I'll just copy this ID. Just directly search with this ID. Okay. So if you will see my request processing start from here. This is the SAML ID. Okay. This is the SAML ID. This is issue instance and everything. Now, what happens in Palo Alto basically what user used to do? So right now what we have done, user, we have tried to access the portal.lab.local from the browser. Now what happens when we have sent this request, right? If you go here into not in Fiddler, go here. If you will see, I have accessed this website, right? And I got this particular response. So you are always access the portal through the browser, which means it will try to communicate with the service provider. So now when this request reaches to your portal, or when that request reaches to the service provider, what your service provider will do? It will look for the valid assertion, or in short form, it will look for the cookie, if any, from the last transaction. It will look for these cookies from the last transaction. If it found the cookies, it will allow. Otherwise, what it will do now, your service provider, your service provider calls the auth process, or it will call your auth daemon for creating the SAML SSO auth request payload. If you will go here, if you will see this thing in log, SAML SSO request payload, right? Create the SSO request payload. We have got this particular message to my authority daemon. So now what your authority daemon will do? They see SAML auth request payload. It will create this particular payload. What it will do? It will create the payload. So this is the first thing which happens. It will create the payload. So your SP, in our case, your global protect, or we can say your authority daemon, it will create the payload, create the auth request payload, right? What is the payload value? This is the payload he has created, this one, all of them. Now next what happens? Your authority daemon, it will return few values here. What are these values? It will return this single sign-on request payload. In this payload you have seen, we have verified it is having the auth ID. This is your auth ID, guys. This ID. This is your auth ID. Generally in logs, you will see the auth ID here, okay? But this, whatever logs we are seeing, they are log for the clientless VPN. So in clientless VPN, we will see the ID. And instead of auth, we will see the ID. And what it will return? The issue instance. Protocol binding. These are the values it will return. Auth ID, IDP URL. It will also return with this IDP URL, like the destination URL, your relay state, your issue instant, right? Which is your, this is your timestamp, and your protocol bindings. So authority daemon, it will return these value, which means these are the part of your auth request. Now this request is forwarded by your authority daemon to your app-web3. App-web3. This is your PHP layer, right? That app-web3 is responsible for your pre-login, all these requests and all. So it will forward that request towards your app-web3. Or we can say in logical way, it will forward that request to your REST manager. The REST manager forward that request to app-web3. Because REST manager is the daemon who will maintain the backend logic of your global protect. After that, what happens? The first one. And these are the packet for your SAML request. These are the request content. Now, my GP, or we can say my Palo Alto, it will send one either post or either redirect request. Right now, if you have seen, as per our configuration, we are using the post request, right? If you go here, if you go into your SAML, why it is not able to communicate with the firewall? Just open it. What it will do? It will send the redirect request to this particular single sign-in URL, and that URL you will able to see in your request payload here. See, this is the URL, single sign-on URL. And right now we are using the post request here. We are not using redirect, we are using the post request. Okay. Post redirect request towards Okta in our case. So what it will, that particular post request is contain, it is contain your SAML request or SAML authentication request payload. It is contain all this payload. And also what it will do, your GP or we can say our PAN-OS, it will store the auth ID locally somewhere. It will store the auth ID locally somewhere. This auth ID it will restore, this ID. Okay. Now after that, what will happen? Now this request reaches to your Okta. It will validate your credential. It will validate the username, password, and the password challenge, right? Like your push notification or authentication challenge. It will validate this challenge. If your user everything is fine, then what it will do now? It will generate the XML response payload. It will generate the XML response payload, and after that, this XML response payload basically it will generate, and now it will forward this particular payload, generate the XML response payload. Now what you will see in this payload, you will have your certificate details, your assertion or SAML assertion, you have your attribute values, all these details you will see in this particular response payload, right? Now till here basically, now this particular response, your IDP is forwarded towards the end user, machine or end user browser. Now what will happen? SAML response. Now your end user browser, what he will do? It will forward this particular response. Your end machine will forward the response or this particular like your SAML response towards where? Towards your Palo Alto. Now Palo Alto receive this response. So what? Now Palo Alto will forward this response internally to your authority daemon. Now what will happen? Now your authority daemon, it will start the parsing. it will start parsing of this particular SAML response, right? Now, as I have told you in SAML response, what it is having, it is having the certificate details, it is having the auth ID, it is having in response ID, right? It is having the assertion, it is having the digital signatures, or we can say it is having the XML digital signatures. All these values are available into the response space or into the response payload. So now your author daemon, what he will do, he will check the auth profile first. He will check the auth profile first. So he will just try to identify or try to find out the SAML auth profile, right? Now what it will use the auth ID which he has stored, right? And what it will use this auth ID to find out the SAML SSO request payload, because it will store that request payload somewhere. And from that payload, what he will extract the username, it will extract the admin role, it will extract the end response ID, name ID, session index, all these values it will extract. Like what it will extract? It will extract your auth ID from the SAML request which he has stored, guys. Just remember, because it will store that request somewhere internally. Just remember. And it will also get the user ID detail, username detail, group detail, name ID, session index, and the in response to that ID. It will get these values, and after that, what it will get, this in response value it will get from the SAML response. Now what it will do, it will compare. It will compare the stored auth ID. What it will do, it will compare the stored auth ID with the in response to ID. So that value is from the SAML response. It will compare these values. If these values will not match, what will happen? If not match, if match is not found, what they will do? It will drop the packet, or it will stop and delete the SSO request payload. It will delete the SSO request payload. If match found, if there is a match, then what will happen? So go here. If match found, so what it will do now? What now it will basically verify the digital certificate. It will verify the digital certificate. And what it will, when it will validate the digital certificate, it will use the IDP cert, which is available into your metadata file. Okay. And after that, it will successfully validate the certificate. If he is able to validate, which means now in the 11 number, what it will do, this your auth daemon, it will checks the allow list, checks the user allow list, that user is allowed on the allow list or not. Here into your authentication profile, it will look for this list, this allow list. If user is allowed, what it will do? If user is allowed, what it will basically authenticate the user. It will authenticate the user and allow the access of the particular resource. So this is how your SAML authentication works in case of your Palo Alto firewall. Now, you also need to understand how your SAML single sign-on logout request works. How your SAML single sign-on logout response works. So what will happen in that case? Your global protect, what it will do? Whenever he receive the request for session logout, when he received that message, so your GP, it will basically just pass the username and session index number to auth daemon. It will pass that info to auth daemon. Now your auth daemon, it will checks whether the auth profile is SAML or not. It will checks whether the auth profile is SAML. It will checks for the SAML profile. After that, it will also check this auth daemon. It will check after finding the SAML profile. What it will check if we have enabled that option or not. Enable single logout. That option is enabled or not. If you go here, if you go into this profile, you remember enable single logout option, right? If you have selected that option, then only you will see all that transaction. So it will check for that option. If option is enabled, yes, in our case it is enabled, yes, right? So what will happen? It will proceed. It will proceed for the things. Otherwise, if that option is not enabled, what SP will do? Your GP, it will simply log out that user. That's it. Now, if that option is enabled, so fourth thing, what he needs to do now? Now your authd, it will create the SAML SLO single sign-on logout request payload. It will create that particular payload, and that payload, it is having two things. It is having the user ID and it is having the session index ID. What it will do? It will also sign these particular request payload with that certificate. This Okta cert it will use. This signing certificate will use for that request. It will sign that request with the certificate. Now, when he has created this payload, so if I'll go here, if I'll show you SAML SSO request payload, we have get that message. Create the SSO request for the log SAML single sign-on log SSO. This is a SSO request payload. We have to look for SAML SLO request payload, logout payload. So just see. Send the SAML response. And if you will see somewhere here, Auth profile. See SAML SLO request below, right? This is the message I have received. And you will see this is the logout request payload. This is the destination. So I have to put the destination URL. And if you go here, this time I am giving you that particular destination. Go here, go here. This is the logout destination. Just remember, this is the SAML SSO logout destination. If you go into your, you will see the SLO SAML issuer name, username. This is the username, which is also known as your name ID. This is the session index ID. And if you go here, if you will open the SAML request, so you will get, this is the SAML logout request payload. It is having the destination, but this time it is having the logout destination. This URL is similar to this URL, this one. Let me just copy. Let's go here. No, this URL equals to this URL. Okay, exact same. This is the ID. You will get the ID here. This is the issue instance, version details. This is the portal, URI and other details you will see here. This is the digest value because this is the certificate which we are using for the signing purpose. Portal, this is the name ID. This is the session index ID. Okay. This is the session index ID. Now, they have created the request payload. Now in this request payload, what you will get? That request payload having the auth ID. It is having the SLO request payload. It is having the IDP single SLO URL, right? It is having all that detail. Now, your service provider, or we can say your user machine, that user machine, he will receive this request. If you will have seen here, not in Fiddler, if you go back to here, we have received that logout request into the user browser. This is the summary. This is HTTP header, right? All the details you will get here. This is the request I have received into my browser. Now that request is redirected toward this destination because I am getting this destination redirection here. This is the post request with the redirect. This is the redirect URL. Just remember. So your user machine or browser, it will redirect this request towards the Okta logout URL, which we have received into your logout URL, which is configured here, this one. Now, seventh thing, what will happen now? Now your service provider or your GP or your Palo Alto, is what? It will store that auth ID somewhere. This auth ID. This auth ID he will store somewhere from the request. this auth id, because this auth id you will see. So this is logout, SAML logout request. So just copy this, or this auth id it will store somewhere, and you will see this auth id it will get into the logout response as a in response to for the validation. Now the next thing what happens, 8. Now this particular request reaches to your IDP. IDP basically complete the logout things at their end, and what it will do, it will send the SAML logout response payload. It will send this particular request logout response payload towards your user or into the browser. Now this browser, he will forward that particular payload towards the Palo Alto. Palo Alto basically forward this particular payload to Auth3D1. Now Auth3D1 start parsing this particular payload, and you will get this parsing here. Sign SAML message succeed. This is the response he has received, and it will do the parsing here. So see, PAN-OS request SAML parse SLO response. It is parsing the SLO response. Go here. Now, what it will do when it will parse the request, it will match, it will compare the auth ID with the in response ID, which he has got into this response. If both are matching, we are good to go. If not matching, there is a problem, right? There is a problem, it will delete the things. So like that, it will do the entire processing, guys. This is how your logout thing works in case of Palo Alto when we are having, basically Palo Alto as a service provider, Okta as an identity provider, and user machine we are using web browser. So let's see what are the other things we are having here. SAML authentication, send SAML SSO request, SAML authenticate and receive SSO response, sending the SAML SSO request, user clicks logout, receive the SAML SSO request from the IDP. How basically this particular process happens when we receive the logout request from the IDP side, because sometimes IDP can also able to initiate, right? So there are multiple things. We can log out the user from the IDP itself first. System logs we have seen, Auth3D1 logs we have seen, right? So this is all about your SAML when we are having your Palo Alto Firewall, how to do the troubleshooting, how to do the configuration, how to decode the messages. And guys, always use this particular tracer for tracing the SAML request and response. And if you go here into this response, see, this ID will match, and like that they will complete the logout process, guys. This is all about your SAML with regards to Palo Alto